Oh man, let's see what we got left here. I'll wait till I get a sound check and we'll get these other ones, this other live stream going, and we should be up in a moment. Happy Tuesday to you folks. I just got a. This is gonna be a shorter live because I gotta get involved with something after this. So I do wanna, but I do wanna come on here and talk about something I just happened to come across. So I'll wait till I get an audio check. Uh, Hang on a second here. And we should get somebody in here that can give me a sound check. Okay. And I'm going to get the right hashtags in here. Boom. Boom. And nobody's in here yet. So, boom. And another hashtag here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, almost. Let me know if you got a good audio check, and we'll be able to start momentarily. So somebody on YouTube, let me know once you get good audio, and we'll get the program underway. So I'll wait till I get an audio check from somebody, and until then, I'll go ahead and get this last piece completed. We should be up. So I'm ready the minute I get an audio check. So I'll go ahead and start the other platforms and make that happen. I think we're on because we had some issues with my Wi-Fi earlier. So we'll see if it cooperates. So you guys let me know if you get good audio. Um, in fact, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and fire it up, and we got that going. So I think we're good on everything here. So let me know on YouTube if you got good audio. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Shorter program because I got some business to get involved in, but I wanted to come on here just to talk to you folks about something I discovered coming from our commander in chief. I'm not certain at the age of this video, but it is worthy of mentioning, which is why you see on my screen, I got, like he said, what I can't believe President Trump said this, but fact is he is on video saying it. So there's not a lot of dispute for this. So just yet another show with Trump clips. It's just crazy because Trump is always saying shit that is controversial. People always say you got TDS and all this other stuff. I don't know if it's TDS or if it's more of a case of President Trump says controversial shit so often that it's hard to really focus on other stuff. I mean, he says a lot of controversial shit. So here we are again today. Real quick, before I continue on, for folks on YouTube, we got a few dozen of you in here now. Let me know on YouTube if the audio is okay. I'm assuming nobody said it's bad. So if you're watching on YouTube, let me know if the audio is okay. I believe the audio is all right across the board on the other platforms. So let me know that on YouTube. So getting into the show, and like I said, it's going to be a somewhat of a shorter show today because I got some business to get involved in a couple hours. So we got to cut it short in about a couple hours. But I just want you to hear this. Everybody knows that President Biden, and thank you for the audio check. I think that says David 1078. Thank you for the audio check. Appreciate it. So everybody knows that Biden has stage 4 prostate cancer that unfortunately has metastasized and it's wreaking havoc on his body. So it's no longer just in his prostate. It metastasized, spread to his bones. And now his son Hunter is saying that it's hitting other organs and it's really debilitating, is the words Hunter Biden used. Debilitating and painful. And I think most of you folks, if you're aware of the symptoms of bone cancer in particular, bone cancer is painful. Bone cancer is a painful cancer to have, but it started in his prostate, spread to his bones, and now it's spreading to other organs of the body. So at this point, it wouldn't be out of pocket to suggest Biden is dying. It wouldn't. I don't think it would be, wrong to suggest that. But Biden is likely dying. But the reason I'm bringing this up, and I hate to hear that about a president, even if it was Trump. I don't want the guy to perish. But fact is, President Trump made a statement when he found out Biden was diagnosed with cancer, which is why the live stream is titled. He said, "What?" I want to give this to you. I mean, it's Trump in rare form. I mean, it's Trump, the Trump you've come to know and love.
He's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry, because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him. He's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime.
So you hear Trump said, "I really don't feel sorry for him." I mean, look, it's one thing to say this shit behind closed doors, to say this shit to one of your advisors or even a VP, JD Vance or something, but to say it on camera in front of a room full of cameras, I really don't feel sorry for the guy. He's referring to Biden as vicious, and I suppose he's accusing Biden of weaponizing the DOJ or whatever the case may be. But keep in mind, he is saying this about what appears to be a dying man. And I see the comments. Conservative Moon says, "Play the rest of it." I mean, what do you want to hear? It's going to be more hatred towards Biden. Look, he said he don't give a shit about the guy. I mean, what else do you want me to play? You want me to then play him defining why he don't give a shit about the guy? What is the purpose of playing the rest of it? I think we already kind of know how Trump feels about Biden. Hearing 10 more minutes of that is not going to put it in any sort of context. Because keep in mind, Trump accuses Biden of stealing the election. And as of now, there's no actual proof of that. So you can't be you cannot even be 100% sure that all of Trump's allegations on Biden are even factual. Because as I just stated, he accuses Biden of stealing the election. He accused Obama of wiretapping his office. I mean, Trump makes accusations and does not provide proof in regards to a lot of this stuff. So he may have his alleged reasons for not liking Biden, but he is talking about a dying man. And of course, it remains to be seen, considering the lack of proof, whether the allegations he's making about Biden are even true at all. So I do want to simply ask you folks, how do you feel to have a president saying that about his predecessor that is likely on his deathbed? In addition to that, another Trump quote, and it's interesting. I'm going to play this because somebody just asked me to play the other quote in full. Well, this is pretty much what you could expect if you heard the rest of the last quote. But this is President Trump once again. This is now he's asking about Fauci-related context. And then Trump goes into a tangent. Apparently, there was some study or rumor or allegation. I'm going to frame it that way because I don't know for certain. But there was an allegation that I believe the vax could cause symptoms in expectant mothers, which I don't suppose that would be out of the ordinary. A lot of drugs you may take, they'll tell you, don't take this if you're pregnant or you're trying to get pregnant. Well, apparently there was a study that showed that it could cause side effects or greater side effects or some kind of problem in pregnant women.
Say Senators Rand Paul and Ron Johnson released some text messages from Anthony Fauci, and it appears that as early as January 2021, they knew that there could possibly be complications with pregnant women and miscarriages tied to the COVID vaccine. Yet the Biden administration health officials, they didn't change their rhetoric. Your reaction?
Well, the Biden administration was a disaster in every way. That would be just one way, but they have been a disaster in every single way. It's unimaginable what they did in that. Forget about weaponization, forget even about, as important as what you're saying, so many of the open borders, the men and women's sports, it's just been a horrendous disaster, the highest inflation in history. And we're doing a great job.
Senator.
Now, he goes through the rundown of how shitty Biden was as a president. And then he concludes by saying, we're doing a great job. I want to ask you a simple question in regards to this. Now that we've had Trump for nearly half a term, do you personally believe, I guess you could type yes or no in the comments, do you personally believe that America is performing, do you believe we are doing significantly better now under Trump than we were under Biden? Because you hear him just really tear into the Biden administration, all things about it. And then he concludes by saying we're doing a great job now. So I'm asking you folks, do you believe we are doing significantly better under Trump than we were under President Biden? So we talk about that. Last but not least, quick topic. Once again, there are primaries going on. This time it looks like America's Dairyland, Wisconsin, is another state that is propelling a Democrat socialist to the helm with a really good chance of leading the Democrat Party. So I do want to, this is going to be an ongoing conversation, and today is no exception. But I do want to ask you folks, how do you feel that so many Democrat socialists are rising at once? Does it give you hope, or does it frighten the shit out of you? How do you feel that the Democrats are propelling so many Democrat socialists at the same time? It's not just one Bernie Sanders this time. They're popping up all over the place. So I do want to get your opinion on that. So this will be the typical show. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit shorter today than normal because I got something to do in a few hours. But the show's going to be ran as normal otherwise, with the exception of time. We will be MAGA friendly as always. We won't block, ban, or censor anyone the same way we always do. Our comments will go left of El Abdul Saeed all the way to I'm having dinner with Q. That's the spectrum for our comments. So, and of course, you can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. So looking in the comments right away, and I'm really shocked when I heard him say that about Biden while he had a cancer diagnosis. I'm like, wow. In the comments, though, Trump has gotten so extreme that he invoked the far left in people. So you're saying, like a lot of folks said, Obama took the country too far to the left. Democrats and Biden took the country too far to the left. That's what got us Trump. You're saying Trump is taking the country so far to the right. That's what's getting us the DSA, Record Galaxy. I've heard somebody else say that. Fair enough. Let me go to the comment section. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000. We'll take the first caller as usual. Looking in the comments right off the bat, we could probably just drop one in with the honorable, well-served Dencal. Good evening, Dencal. Welcome to the program if it brings them up. Tariffs are being refunded to companies, $166 billion. Is that actually going to be done? I mean, I know a judge ordered it, but is it actually going to be done? And the handsome conservative, the rise of Democrat socialists, he states, it tells me America is about to fall. Dencal, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, so what do you think? I mean, we'll start out with conservatives' comment. Now, there's another primary going on. I think it's going on today in Wisconsin. They've propelled another Democrat socialist, and it's looking like that Democrat socialist may win the Democrat Party going into the midterms. So there's a few of these people now. The question I'm asking, does it concern you? Does it give you hope, or does it frighten the shit out of you that so many Democrats, socialists, are being propelled to the top spots? What say you?
Give me hope. I'm glad.
Really? As opposed to moderates, do you prefer Democratic Socialist candidates over moderates?
What did they say? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result.
Doing the same thing over and over again. So you believe moderates are a version of insanity, just doing the same shit over and over again and expecting different results.
Exactly. Isn't that the same thing that the Republicans keep, or the I won't say the Republicans, but conservatives? Ain't that the same thing they say about black people? You keep trying the same thing. You keep voting for the same people over and over again. And what has it gotten you? Now, just like I told you a couple of weeks ago, people want fucking change. They just don't like the direction our change is going, but people want change. They tired of sitting there looking at all of these dang on politicians lay down and start licking Trump's boots, whatever he says. They want people that's going to start fighting for the people. Make the government start being proactive to the people. And not the government just keep saying, everything's fine. We're in a golden age. While people is losing their livelihood. People are tired of that shit.
Well, in regards to having a politician that fights for the people, have you not seen the hat? It clearly says the goal is to make America great again. Do we not have that now?
Listen, that's a slogan, and people can buy into that if they want to or not. The fact is, there are people in different circumstances all around the country, and using a blanket slogan like "Make America Great Again" does not fit all of those different groups that have been shitted on throughout the history of this country. So I don't buy into that "Make America Great Again." America is as great as it's ever been today, on this day.
You think right now, August 2026, America is the greatest it's ever been as we speak right now?
Yes, because it's progressing towards something different. The American experiment was not designed to find a certain place in history and stay there. We're a progressive country. We're a progressive world as it stands right now. We want to move to be better all the time.
Yeah,
We may have had some setbacks under Trump, but the fact is, I can sit here in my home, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in homes, which was not available to my parents and the generation before that and the generation before that. So they may be trying to push us back, but the amount of wealthy black people in this country is as high as it's ever been.
It's interesting. You almost sound like Trump, to be honest with you. It's interesting you would say America's never been greater than it is right now, because one of the questions I asked was, are we better off under Trump than we were under the Biden administration? Based on your statement, we've evolved. We're the best we've ever been right now. You need a hat. You sound like you're endorsing Trump.
I see what you did. I see what you did.
I'm taking your words. You're endorsing Trump.
What I also said is there are groups that don't get to enjoy into that success. So to those people, no, it's not. In my whole belief is that I want more people to prosper. I don't want to make it and just say, well, I made it, so everybody else should be okay. That's not the case.
Okay. So I guess I will then ask you the second question. We're nearly halfway through Trump's second term. Do you believe America currently is much better? As you heard Trump say, how horrible the Biden administration was, and he's saying we're doing great now. Do you believe America's doing much better under Trump now than we were under Biden?
I mean, that's a loaded question. When you say better how?
Economically, military might, respect around the world. You could say unity in this country. You could say inflation. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different metrics.
No, I would say no to all of those things. I'm saying me personally, yes. I mean, once you get to a certain level, yes, your net worth continues to grow whether things are good or bad in America.
Yeah. Now, In the comments, Snowbird7 on TikTok says, simple response. His sentence is, Trump is the greatest leader in the world. So he obviously sees things significantly different. Why do you think some folks have your view, and then there's others who believe that there has been no one better than President Trump?
Because there's a difference between wanting the best for humanity and wanting the best for one person. Like, how can you say that this is the best leader in the world when we can look at the economy that he created and it's hurting millions of people? Like, millions of people just lost access to health care when he went into office. Millions of people lost their lives during a pandemic that he mismanaged. So when he says that, I would like to know what metric he's using, because pretty much every metric I understand as far as what a president is supposed to be doing, he is failing.
Well, according to him, as you rightfully pointed out, he said we're in a gilded age. This is a golden age of America. I mean, President Trump himself is obviously suggesting we're doing significantly better than it sounds like you're painting, or the picture you're painting. So, I mean, I do.
But nobody else that monitors the health of our economy, or historians that understand history, are saying the same thing. Just because the man said it doesn't make it true.
Yeah. What are you suggesting, that President Trump is not necessarily an honest man?
I would never say that.
Okay, all right. Let me give it to you like this. So I know my beloved MAGA are always going to point out all politicians lie. There's no denying that. But I'm going to ask in regards to, let's start out with Biden. We had a full term of Biden. In regards to honesty, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being his mouth is a prayer book. Where would you put Joseph R. Biden on the honesty scale? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being his mouth is a prayer book.
I view him as an evolved person. I understand he grew up in the days of segregation. He had a lot of ideas that went along with public sentiment back then.
Okay.
But I watched him evolve as a human being and start to understand that there are other parts of society that have suffered, under the form of government. And he has tried to do his best to try to change that narrative while adding minorities into his cabinet, expanding, trying to expand civil rights, trying to expand health care for poor people. Like, I see him, he went out there, he tried to get he did the Chip to Science Act to help the people. He did the PACT Act to help the veterans. He did like 4 or 5 different acts that were for people. They had nothing to do with a specific group of people.
So scale of 1 to 10. I'm not hearing the number though.
Oh, okay. You're talking about an honesty measure?
10 means his mouth is a prayer book. That means he is totally honest. Just talking about Biden now. How honest is he?
He's a politician. I'd say about maybe a 7.
About a 7. Okay. Fair. Obama?
Probably about an 8.
So Obama's slightly more honest than Biden. We got to go with Donald John Trump. What say you?
Can we use negative numbers?
Come on now. Everything Trump says is not. You're giving Trump.
Did you check out what I said yesterday about him having to get removed from the dang on plane?
Yes, it's all over the news today. They hit him in one of those, when the trucks come up to load in the food and stuff on the plane. It sounded like they hit him in one of those and then took him over to another military aircraft.
The president of the United States had to be secretly whisked away in a fucking food truck because he was in a fucking plane that he had no business in, and just understand that the threat was there when he went over there just as when he left. So that means the people around him allowed him to be in a situation where he could have got blown out the fucking sky to suit, his ego wanting to show off his new gift he got from a
and that also cost us a lot of tax money. I mean, that endeavor with him trying to force that Qatar jet over there in Turkey in a clearly what was not a safe zone. He ended up flying the Qatar jet. They brought in the traditional Air Force One jet, and he was put in a military jet. So that whole endeavor cost fuel for 3 aircraft when it should have just been one.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. He cost the taxpayers a bunch of money just so he could look good in his news.
And then when they got it, when they found out, guess what he did? They want to indict the reporters.
Yeah.
When he
well,
I don't. There's nothing, they just wanted to show what did he say? They wanted to let the troops tour.
Yeah. I don't like Trump trying to go after the media for reporting the truth. However, I do understand his anger because just like with letting the enemy know we're getting low on patriots and THAAD interceptors and stuff like that. Now they also know we do take their threat seriously. Trump dismisses it like we're in control. We don't have to worry about you. Clearly you did. They put your ass in a fucking cargo truck. So it's embarrassing. So that's why the Trump administration is upset.
You saying you understand his anger. See, the problem with that whole scenario is he created the whole situation. It wasn't as if he went over there in the regular Air Force One and they could not, they didn't have the technology to protect him or whatever. He's the one who chose to put this thing on the ground and in the air when the professionals knew it did not have the safeguards in place.
That's what happens when you're surrounded by nothing but yes men, because you need to have somebody. His security needs to be something that he has no say. Your job as president, he should not be able to override the Secret Service in regards to protecting his life. Because if he ends up getting taken out under their watch, they get punished for that. So he should not be able to override how they provide security for him. But apparently he's doing that.
Nobody is going to get punished. Just like nobody got punished with the reflecting pool. Nobody got punished when his Department of War head sent private messages.
I disagree.
To the damn reporter.
I disagree. If the president forces the Secret Service to do something that leaves him exposed and somebody takes him out, the Secret Service detail, first of all, you're never going to get another presidential assignment. I don't want shit to do with you if the last guy died under you. So, I mean, you're going to somehow get punished. Maybe just in the form of the details you get assigned to.
I'm just speaking at the level that they're in. A military level, like there's a certain amount of accountability. Even if if a captain of a ship somehow makes a mistake and runs aground, it doesn't matter if it was a mistake, if the engine shut down, it doesn't matter. You automatically get relieved.
Yeah.
When somebody puts the president of the United States, allows it, whatever, a person should never be trusted.
Well, I don't know. What can you do if the president of the United States wants to get on this jet and he starts threatening you as a Secret Service detail? Either you make this work where we fly on this aircraft, or I'm firing all of y'all. What do you do?
It's obvious that there's nobody at the top having these conversations before they do the shit.
You talking about Trump?
They're doing the shit. And these people, like you got Kane in charge of the Joint Chief, and you got Heggsbreath over there, and nobody's saying shit to him.
Well, this is what we're doing. I do got to move it on because I'm kind of short for time today. Last question I want to ask you, because I just saw this in the comments. Snowbird says midterms will be postponed. Mark my words. Any chance there's validity to that in your opinion?
I don't think that they'll be postponed. I think they'll be interfered with on a national level, which is something that I think everybody should be disturbed about. Obviously, MAGA is not.
Interfered how? Interfered how? Interfered with how?
Well, we never really know what Trump's got up his sleeve until it actually happens. But trust me, there are lawyers, there are Steve Bannon, there are Roger Stones, there are people out here developing ways to disrupt the election. And he now has people in place that will follow through with what he wanted to do last time.
Yeah.
To have people in place say to not swear people in, not honor the election result.
So
it's going to take a whole bunch of people to stand up to him, which I believe there might be, but he's still going to attempt it regardless.
Yeah. So we could have a mess in a few months. I got to move it on, Denkel. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it.
Yep,
Thank you. And I agree with him. And here's the problem, though. If that happens, where the public knows for a fact they elected person A, and Trump interferes so that now all of a sudden we're being governed by person B, you could have many January 6th type protests, insurrections, coups, whatever you want to call it. That could be happening all over the country. Or it could be similar to the ICE protests in Minneapolis. If people know for damn sure that the person that got the job is not the person that won, we could have some major issues going on in this country this winter. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. In the comments, what is his name? I want to read this comment. Nikki Platinum says, like Joe Biden did in the 2020 election. I don't know. Look, how many times do I have to say it? I'm on your side if Trump could show proof. There's been so many allegations made by the Trump camp about that election that has not been proven. Some of them have actually been proven false. The million voting machines, Rudolph Giuliani with Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. There's, Tucker Carlson having to apologize, Fox News having to apologize, Mike Lindell getting sued, Mike Lindell's running for governor in Minnesota right now. It's insane. I don't think he has any chance of winning at all in that state in particular, but there's too many things from the right that have been said about that election, whereas you're going to just take their word as the truth. I mean, even if you do believe that the Biden administration pulled some kind of stunt or something, it's pretty clear the Trump administration was pulling stunts too. Why did you say so many things that are not true? Should we just skip over that and just go for Biden? I don't know. Tap the screen. We'll take the first caller at 10,000. Some of you guys have lazy thumbs. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Get the likes up to 10,000. Republicans are regressive. Democrats are conservative. Fight me. That makes no sense. Bloomberger, certainly with the Democrats propelling the likes of Democrat socialists and things like that. For you to say that Democrats are conservatives as opposed to being progressives makes me wonder, do you know what the terms mean? The Democrat Party was, with emphasis on was, conservative. You go back during the era of slavery, the KKK, when they were doing all that shit, yeah, they were a conservative party. The Democrats were conservative. But in modern times, last 50 plus years since the Martin Luther King era, that party is progressive. They're not conservative. So, you getting that one wrong. Trump is deranged and we love it. Why would you love someone that's deranged, considering that deranged people are unpredictable? So if he tell you he's going to lower your gas prices, but you really can't predict if he's going to do it or not, that's something you love? Make that make sense. Nothing about the GOP is conservative. I disagree with that 100% too. In the comments, Republicans have nothing about MAGA is conservative, but the GOP, different opinion. Tap the screen. We'll take the next caller in a moment. I thought he just said America is as great as it's ever. He did say that. Handsome conservative, he did say that. He kind of started backpedaling when all of a sudden I started telling him that you need to be liking Trump. But he did say that. You are right. Republicans have a majority in all three branches of government, including both chambers of the House. They don't need Democrats to do anything, you dummy. I don't know if he's talking to me or talking to somebody else because I don't know where that came from. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Are we at 10 grand? We'll take the first caller momentarily. If you're watching this on, did I miss something on this side over here? Okay, there we go. China is not communism. America has no credibility left because of Trump. I don't agree with that, Chaz. I think America's credibility and reputation has been severely injured because of President Trump. But make no mistake about it, I think most of the world knows that he has a lot of detractors in this country. Most of the world knows there are a lot of Americans that do not agree with President Trump because President Trump is treating a lot of Americans just as bad as he are the folks that do not give him credibility. I mean, so they're seeing what's going on with immigrants and, people of color. I mean, they're seeing that stuff. They're seeing protests from women. I mean, they're noticing places like Minneapolis where there are protests. There's a bunch of white Americans in those protests. In fact, Minneapolis, where Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good were killed, most of that protest consisted of white Americans. That shit was shown worldwide. So I think most of the world knows that all Americans are not on the Trump train. That don't mean they won't still hold us accountable for what he's done, though. Going to the box, we'll start the program off with, and by the way, help your boy out with the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goals. MAGA reacts. Good evening.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
To answer your question, I'm very hopeful. With all these socialists being ran, that means the Republicans are actually going to win.
You feel confident about that? Oh, hang on before you answer that. In the comments, Dencal says, what does that say? Blanche just rolled out a new deal. Oh, Todd Blanche just rolled out a new Department of Justice rule that not only communications between Trump and his administrations are privileged, but now communications between his administration and civilians are protected. Now, he's saying that Todd Blanche just rolled that out. Do you agree with something like that?
I don't know. I gotta understand what it means first.
Okay, let me explain it to you. If he is suggesting, wait a minute.
I'm not gonna use your.
You could have just said, I don't want to answer the question. I mean, when I try to explain it to you, I don't want to.
You get it wrong so much. Why would I take your explanation of anything?
Because we're going to do it based on.
You don't even know anything. You just heard something Denkel said.
But I'm going to ask you a simple question. In regards,
you're gonna paint it in a.
Are you gonna let me fucking talk? Are you here to have a conversation? Are you here to have a conversation or just try to direct it? Remember, I'm the host.
All the bullshit that makes me look.
It doesn't matter. You don't even know what the fuck I'm about to say. You're actually you're the guest. You're the guest, not the host.
All right, go ahead, say it.
God damn.
I'll play with you, but don't be like you're being.
Okay, you're the guest.
I played with you.
You need a show. You're trying to direct the show. That's not how this works. If you don't want to answer the question, if you don't want to answer the question, then goddamn it, just say I don't want to answer it. Quit making up bullshit.
Okay,
just say I don't want to answer it.
I don't want to answer.
All right, then what the fuck you on for? Talk to me.
No, just like what you've been talking about, how socialism is going to be a disaster. It makes me hopeful because, every time we tell you this shit's stupid, you guys don't listen to us. And then just when we think there's hope and you guys are over the bullshit because you lose an election, within 2 months, you're back at all the same stupid shit, just making up excuses for it.
You said we don't listen to you. The guy who said your side, out of all of the shit that Trump has said, your side defending Trump, you think we should be listening to your side with all the things that Trump has said that have been lies and false, didn't come. You believe the Democrats should be listening to Trump and listening to MAGA.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Can you hear me? Hold on. My fucking Bluetooth just kicked in.
Okay, I'll move it on if your audio's fucked up. He said you guys are not listening to us. That's crazy. What do you think we're going to listen to MAGA at this point? How many times can you say you hate Democrats before the Democrats tune out? Tap the screen. Look in the car. We'll go straight on to the next call. I don't know what happened with his audio, but we'll go to Gangsta Grandma. He didn't want to answer the question because he knew what it was going to be. Thank you for.
Oh, Timmy, Tim, how you
you doing?
Okay, I'm doing good. Thank you, me too, for the membership. Appreciate some of you folks coming a member on YouTube. I'm going to end up letting you folks direct shows and create videos in your honor for my folks who are registering on YouTube. Gangsta Grandma, what did you say now?
I said, how you doing, my little buttercup? Oh, it's gonna go down next week, though.
Okay.
And see, Tim, let me tell you something. I like your crazy ass, me and your homies, but you allow that man to disrespect you like that, it ain't gonna happen. Why do you let him disrespect you like that, dog? Like, you know what I mean? Why would you let that disrespect you?
Well,
He said that you're not even intelligent. Like, well, what the fuck? Boy, let me tell you something. And MAGA reacts. You're not the intelligent one. You're not the intelligent
okay,
one.
I was going to
Wait
answer
till
your
I
question.
Get up in there.
I was going to
Wait till I
answer.
get up there with him in his life. Let's see who it is then.
Okay. I was going to answer your question in regards to why I didn't draft him, which he was clearly being disrespectful. I'm not going to disagree with that, but we don't have as many MAGA as I would like, so we can't be fucking around and disrespecting MAGA
But
in
you
return.
don't need disrespect, though, dog.
You disrespect
Like,
me
come
every
on.
goddamn time I have you on.
I be doing it because I'm fucking with you, dog.
Maybe
You
he's
have
doing the
like
same
shit.
thing.
No,
Maybe he's doing the same
he's
thing.
genuine disrespecting you. Me and you be fucking around with each other. You know what I mean? Like, we be playing. Like, no, dog. Like, no.
Maybe he's playing too.
No.
Maybe he's playing too.
He ain't playing
Let
shit.
me say it this
Totally
way.
disrespect you.
Let me say it this way. MAGA Reacts knows deep down his side is fucking losing. So MAGA's
He's losing bad, dog.
and they're
Like,
getting
that's
angry.
why Progressive coming all the way, dog. See, I'm not even progressive. I'm middle, but I'll vote for a progressive any damn day before I vote for a damn red any damn day. It's blue no matter who, dog. And that's blue is taking over. They're gonna be so mad.
What about
big mad?
What about all the Democrats? What about all the Democratic socialist candidates? You don't think that's hurting the Democrat Party, putting all these Democrat socialists up?
No, because if they even knew what socialism was about, good God, what, you know, but the red is the one that's on social programs the most. The red states are the ones that's taking the most. So, I mean, hello? Who gets the most food stamps up? YT people in the red states? Not our Negro asses. We don't get it like that. Like, what the fuck? Golly.
Well, but here's the
You
problem.
need to go look it up, Maggot Reacts.
But
With
here's
your
the
$2 centimeter Peter Eater.
But here's the problem. You get this lady who's the head of the DSA that's on my screen. When you say they don't know what socialism is, she's a co-chair of the DSA saying that we need to get rid of the Pentagon and get rid of ICE and get rid of prisons.
She's so stupid. She's like, I don't understand that woman. And shit ain't gonna go. When we say defund the popos, we're not saying take the shit and take them away. We're saying that they need to,
Did she get a call? All right, apparently she got a call because she didn't drop, but it gave that she had a call. Anyway, we'll continue on. Tap the screen. Whoa, handsome conservative. Appreciate the love. The Clapper gift. By the way, if you want to be a live guest, if you have the Clapper, Substack, Instagram apps, you can come up and be a live guest. Or TikTok, same name across all platforms, The Handsome Liberal. If you have any of those apps, it doesn't cost you any money. It's a free thing to do. So if you have Clapper, Substack, TikTok, or Instagram, The Handsome Liberal, find us. We'll bring you up. Doesn't matter what your politics are. As I state all the time, our politics goes left of Mom Donnie till I'm having dinner with Q. And you can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. We are uncensored. So looking in the comments, I'm here. Let's go. I see you there, MAGA. I got one other guest I wanted to bring up first, Stick Derula. Good evening, Stick. Still didn't do. No, I have not. Conservative, and I have to apologize because you're on to something, and I just been fucking around and slipping on that. Stick. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on? So let me before we get into the meat and potatoes, let me clear up what Dan Kyle was saying. What Denkai was saying is not so much that it's better that we've capped out in the black community. And we've definitely capped out now that Donald Trump is in office because he keeps cutting off every fucking thing that we got going on. He keeps fucking with certain shit that we had now that he's in office, now that he's doing the shit with the DOJ and anybody else. Now we don't have shit. So it's capped out.
But
that's what he was saying.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Stick. Let's take what is his name? Abdul El Said, the Democrat socialist candidate that just won in Michigan. Now, the largest black population in Michigan is in the Detroit area, Metro Detroit area. He lost that. The African Americans voted for, I can't think of the name of the woman that he barely beat. He voted for her. The African American community is not voting for these socialists. It's white people. A lot of college educated white people that are supporting these folks. It actually ain't. So when you say blacks have tapped out, black people have tapped out, they don't seem to, even with Trump as president, they're not rolling with these Democrat socialists.
Well, I don't know what black folks you talking about.
Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders. Even look at that. African Americans voted for Hillary Clinton more than they did Bernie Sanders.
Okay, so Hillary Clinton ain't all in the sense of in the black community. She ain't all what you think it is.
I'm just telling you what the votes were.
Yeah, you telling me what the votes were. However, Kamala, she won the popular vote, whether it was with the black folks or without the black folks. She won the popular vote.
Right.
So she got the votes. Ms. Harris, she got 82% black men. So they got and she got 92% of black women. So we're showing you who should be the president in the sense if you're worried about where the black folks are voting. We voted more for for Hillary Clinton, and we voted more for Ms. Harris in both elections.
Yeah, but what is it? Here's what I don't understand. What does it say that African Americans supported this guy? You know where I'm going with this. Supported this guy who was a old white man. And when he stepped down and it was time for this woman to run, they gave her less votes than this guy. What the hell is it up with her? Why did she get, as a black woman, she got less votes from the black community than Biden? So can you explain that?
Because she's a woman. That is nothing else. I ain't ashamed to say it. We got a lot of brothers out there that are soft. And then they won't vote for a woman because they feel like a woman already running their ass. So at the end of the day, yeah, I don't need a woman running my house and running my government.
Wow.
They soft as fuck. Like I had a strong ass mama with a strong ass daddy. My daddy was so strong, he understood the dynamics of sometimes you have to let in your relationship, not in government. In your relationship, you gotta let the woman think that she's in control so she can have more confidence, and you can sit back and be the co-pilot and chill out. When it's time for you,
gotta let her think. Wait. You said you gotta let her think she's in control. So does that mean she actually is not?
Right. Know how to play the game. If you are a strong man, you don't have to have the image that I'm in control of every fucking thing. Your wife can do a lot of shit, and sometimes she can do a lot of shit that your ass can't do.
But you said let her think she's in control. So that means she really is not. You're giving her false hopes.
I'm not giving her false hopes because she's doing the day-to-day.
Is she actually in control or not? Is she really in control, or does she just think she's in control?
Listen, I'm going to say it again. A strong man will let his wife think she's in control.
Why is the think in there? Why is the word think in there?
The think is this. I don't need no problems. If she want to think she's in control, but I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and without this and without that, it would be no us. Like, yeah, I'm going to let you think. You in control. So
if I got you in private and I go, Stick, I get what your woman thinks, but I'm going to ask you, man, who really is in control over there? How's your answer going to be?
The mastermind, me.
Okay. All right. I wanted to get to the bottom of it. So
the mastermind me. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. The mastermind me. However, with letting her feel she has control, you got to respect her in a certain way. See, a lot of people don't want to give respect, especially to a woman. I can give respect to a woman. I can let her take control. But guess what? When it comes down to certain things, she's gonna move to the side. If she's smart, she's gonna move to the side. Big ass burly dude come up talking shit to her. Should she fight him as if she's me? No, she should fucking move to the side and let me knock this motherfucker out. That's point.
yeah, but that's physical. What about in every other aspect? That's physical.
Okay. How about this? The mechanic called me and said, hubby, that this, and this is wrong. No, let me holler at him. Okay, you got it. It's certain things that I know for a fact. Listen, it's certain things I know for a fact. She should lead. But however, with this certain thing right here, I got you. And you got to be confident enough to know that. And you also got to be confident enough to let her think she's in control. Why am I arguing with her for? If we got the same fucking goal and she says, come on, babe, let's do this, and this, I'm going to be like, okay, unless I can't for whatever reason. However, like, if it's on the up and up, it ain't no dumbass shit. I'm gonna run with it, and you can be in control. You can think you have control. It ain't nothing. It's because at the end of the day, you asked me. I got the right to say yes or no. So who's really in control? If she don't move without asking.
Have you ever dated you sound like somebody who's never dated a feminist.
Well, I dated plenty of women. Not little girls. I date women.
Fair enough.
Women that understand the dynamics of a man and a woman. A man and a king, most of the time, for instance, King Leonidas, you know who he is?
No.
The 300. When he left, who he left in control?
All right, yeah.
Who he left in control? Who did he look back at before he kicked Buddy in the hole?
This is Sparta. I get it. So how do you respond to this? Handsome conservative says a woman should never leave a man on. He said it's unbiblical and wise. I mean, do you agree with that a woman should always be with a man according to the Bible? I'm assuming you're Christian, right?
No, I don't believe in that. If that man is hitting on her or something like that, no, I don't believe in that. Like. Everybody got their reasons for why they can't be.
What if she just falls out of love? What if there's no violence or no abuse? She just falls out of love. She's just no longer attracted to him.
If she's not in love with the man, yeah, she should be allowed to move on, and he should be allowed to move on as well. Like,
but doesn't that go against the vows? Sickness and health, death do you part. You just found me ugly, and now you're gonna bounce?
No. Okay. But they also have the part in the Bible where you can get a divorce. So I mean, it is what it is.
It's just a no fault, irreconcilable difference. No fault. I just want to leave his ass. You saying that's in the Bible?
No, what's in the Bible is a divorce.
Yeah.
The divorce.
But there's no grounds required. But you can just do it for any reason if you want.
So also in the Bible, it says if you follow the law of the land, you're doing exactly what the Lord telling you to do. So the law of the land says you can also get a divorce as a woman or a man. So it don't matter. Don't matter. You following the law of the land. The law of the land says you can get a divorce. Then you good.
All right.
It is what it is.
So let me ask you, like what I asked Dencal. Do you actually believe? And I got this. This is a poll question as well on YouTube. Question being: are we better off as a nation under Trump than under Biden? 250 respondents so far. 31%. Say yes, we are better off under Trump than we were under Biden.
And that's the listen. So now I'm glad that you said 30% because that's the average MAGA supporter, part of whatever Republicans, conservatives, whatever. They're only 30%. Those are the diehard, wearing the red hat, got a flag out front, got a flag in the truck, probably a AR in the truck. This is MAGA. That's the 30%. So again, 30% of y'all ain't enough for what's coming. So Trump is doing everything that y'all didn't want him to do. Y'all are saying it, and we're saying it. We told you he was going to do it anyway, but however, y'all didn't listen. So now, just like y'all felt like, oh, we got to put Trump in because we just had Barack Obama. Okay, now they got to put socialists in because we just had fucking Trump.
So yeah, just like Denka. So you're okay with all this rise of socialist candidates. What about the fact that they are saying shit like they want to get rid of the Pentagon and the police and the prisons and get rid of ICE? I mean, are you favoring that stuff?
So again, what power they got to do that?
Well, if that would be like saying, what power does Trump have to implement Project 2025? It's a start. Well, but it's a start.
No, Trump, no, we're not doing that. Because Trump is the president. Trump is also the president with all the fucking loyalists.
You're
Trump
telling me if the Democrats win the House and Senate, they can't pass any laws on their own unless they're president?
What I'm telling you is that section, that part, just like I'm telling you about MAGA, they can't move nothing because they're only 30%.
That's not true. Mondani is just a fucking mayor and he's able to do stuff. What do you mean? If the Democrats win the House and Senate and it's loaded with DSA candidates.
He's the mayor. He's not the president.
That ain't what I'm...
Stop trying to compare the two.
Hold on. I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
One's the country, one half the country, and hold on. One has the country and loyalists in more than half of the states in the country. One is the mayor of a city, 5 boroughs. It's different.
You're telling me that if the Democrats win the House and Senate, but not the presidency, they can't do none of that shit that they're talking about?
No.
That's not true.
No.
Not true.
No. Okay, so name something. Any like wild ass leftist type shit that done got passed in the last 10 years. Give me one.
Well, we haven't had. Wait. You say wild shit that leftist shit. First of all, we haven't had any Democrat socialists in power. So you're talking about what the traditional Democrats have done. The DSA candidates are stronger to the left. We haven't had any of those until now.
Where's Bernie Sanders?
He's one dude, one senator in, what is he, freaking Vermont?
Right. And the only reason this shit is on the rise is because of Trump. However, the people that are getting elected, the people that are going in, they're newbies. They don't have any loyalists in their party yet. They don't have the Democrat Party saying, oh yeah, we're going to change over to them. No, they're going to get a hold of them. Okay, we like this, we like that. But we're going to let that go. We're going to let that go. We're going to let that go. Why? Because this is the Democratic Party. Okay. So if you ain't about getting it right, because we're hearing word on the street, this ain't going to fly. So we just going to let that go.
All right. I'm short for time, but just before I let you go, what do you, if the Democrats win and you start getting a large amount of Democrat socialists, what kind of America do you expect? Things that, what do you expect to improve? Do you expect anything to get worse? What are you expecting if we do start getting a bunch of national socialist candidates or politicians? Because at that point they will have won. They're no longer a candidate. If we get a lot of national politicians that are open socialists, what are you expecting on the horizon?
On the horizon, I'm expecting that New York will be the blueprint. That Mondani would probably be the blueprint.
The guy you just said can't do shit. Now you said he's the blueprint.
You're not letting me finish, though. You're not letting me finish.
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying the blueprint. Listen, I'm saying with these candidates that you are considering to be Democratic socialists, he's right now, if that's the person I gotta go with because he stands out the most, I'm gonna go. It's like Barack Obama.
What are you expecting? I get you only got two choices and you may be choosing the lesser of two evils, but what are you expecting the country to become under that person?
I'm expecting the country to whip into shape like he's doing with New York. Whatever it is that he's doing in New York, whatever the things that are being talked about in a positive light in New York, I expect it to, like, if there's multiple candidates that use him as the blueprint, I expect those cities and those states to actually conform and do the same thing and have a lot happier citizens able to get back and forth to their jobs, making sure that the citizen is covered. Like I see positive progress. I don't see things being taken away, higher taxes. For us at least, it won't be for the
higher taxes on the wealthy.
Yeah, it'd be higher taxes for the wealthy, but less for us.
All right.
And or we might stay the same, but theirs still go up as well. Ours might stay the same, and theirs go up as well. So now that we're all on the equal playing field, because my $40,000 or my $50,000 is the same as his $50,000, he just has millions more behind it. However, my $50,000 get taxed way more than his $50,000 and his millions.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, percentage wise, they do have a lot of the wealthy do have a lot more deductions and options to avoid tax. I got to move it on, no stick. And I do agree with that. However, there's some folks who don't want the rich taxed, so we'll see how that goes. But
well, let me just say this: if those Democratic socialists win, I believe that you will see more things that are going on in New York. National. It'll be national, and it'll be better for the country, better for the citizens, better for the people. Period. Point blank.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm a little short for time. That's why I'm moving guest on a little bit quicker today because I got something to do at the top of a little bit an hour. We gave MAGA a try. Let's give the DSA a chance, says Denkow. Then he says, LOL. What do you mean LOL about it? You serious about that? We gave MAGA a try. Let's give the DSA a chance. I'll tell you this. If those DSA candidates do become senators in Congress and things like that, it's going to be the same mindset that MAGA's saying. You guys went too far to the left. That's what got you Trump. And that's what's going to be the mindset is, Trump went too far to the right. This is what got you the DSA. I mean, because look, regardless of how you feel about socialists and all of this shit, and some of the entitlements and programs they're talking about, Trump cut a lot of shit. So Biden is obviously no socialist. And whatever we had under Biden in terms of entitlements and safety net programs and things like that, Trump cut a lot of that stuff out. So Trump cut a lot of shit out that was even around in his own term. Even in his own first term, he cut out a lot of social programs. So he has taken us much further to the right. He's made America much more friendlier for people of wealth and harsher for those at the bottom. So it could end up getting us Democrat socialists because he has went further to the right, which is exactly what MAGA says about why we got Trump in power now. In the comments, Nerdy Boy, thank you for the support, says socialists like the Tea Party. Huh? Socialists like the Tea Party are the flavor of the month. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, so you're saying socialists are the flavor of the month, just like the Tea Party was, let's say, at the beginning of Obama's term. Socialism is embraced in New York and the policies are refreshing, but most places are not New York. The change might be incremental, but not sweeping. Well, it doesn't have to be totally sweeping. MAGA is not very popular in California, but we do have a MAGA administration. Okay, so let's say socialism is not popular in Wyoming. That doesn't mean you can't still win without Wyoming. It depends on how the people on the ground also talk to the folks. Remember, like I just stated, Trump is getting rid of entitlement and safety net programs that are also hurting MAGA. This is not shit that is just only affecting liberals and liberal states that, let's say, for instance, if you remove a woman's right to choose, MAGA's happy about that. They don't really view that as hurting them too much. But when you start taking away their health care, which is what Trump is doing, that type of stuff does hurt them. So it depends on what the candidate on the ground in their area is saying. Just like what he's did with USAID. He cut social safety nets or programs that was going overseas, and that hurt the farmers in America. Because the farmers were the ones producing the products, the food and things like that. And then they were also getting medicine and pharmaceuticals too. But a lot of the rice and grain and wheat, That stuff was being produced by U.S. farmers, and the government would send it overseas and give the farmers a government check for producing that. When Trump got rid of USAID, all of those farmers that used to get that money ain't getting it no more. So that's a social safety net that directly, and farmers are overwhelmingly MAGA. Farmers are overwhelmingly MAGA. So some of the programs have hurt MAGA. Looking in the comments, and somebody said he took their welfare. That's a good way of looking at it, because that was money they had guaranteed coming in. They didn't have to go out and do what most small businesses. They didn't have to advertise. They didn't have to solicit. They didn't have to fight for business. That government check was guaranteed to come. Just produce the crops. They're going to buy it. The rates are already set. And the government usually pays more than the average consumer because there's no competition. So yeah, it was basically to some degree a welfare program for the farmers. He cut that out, so they're hurting. Nardy Boy says true, but like you said, Sanders is one guy. Socialists will never have a heavy presence on a federal level. Maybe, I got to tell you, a lot of folks didn't think what Trump administration stood for would have a heavy presence on the federal level. It depends on how desperate you make the people. You can't keep telling people the economy and everything's doing great when they can see otherwise, and that's what Trump is doing. So it depends on how desperate you leave the people. Why is no one talking about the fact that more abortions are happening now than before Roe was overturned? Who's keeping track of it, and how do you know? I've heard that. Is that really true? How do you know? You're not the first I've heard say that. Bloomberger, good evening. Welcome to the program. I can't wait for the men to start playing in women's basketball. You reap what you sow is just ridiculous. Wake up, Democrats. I don't think you'll ever see that, Sheldon. I don't think you'll ever see men playing in women's basketball. I get it makes a good way to bash on the liberals, but fact is, if the liberals allow men to play in women's sports, it wouldn't be safe. I mean, what are you going to do? Go out there and score 100 points on a bunch of girls and dunk on them, or hard foul or something like that, and then have the whole stadium want to beat your ass? I mean, it wouldn't be safe for them to do that. I mean, you might have one or two of them try it. You're going to get nothing but death threats and hate mail. Nobody's going to respect your record or your accomplishments. I mean, if you go out there and you're doing this to girls, you can win every game and nobody's going to like you. It won't last long, I can tell you that. Ask Alexa about abortion numbers. Okay. How do I frame that? Alexa, has more abortions happened with Roe v. Wade being rolled back than it was before?
Yes, abortions nationwide have edged up since Roe v. Wade was rolled back, with roughly 1.13 million performed in 2025 versus about 1.05 million in 2023.
How is that happening?
It's largely due to expanded telehealth services that let women mail abortion pills, lowering costs and boosting access, and many states adopting shield laws that protect providers. Plus, increased out-of-state travel for care and a cultural push against birth control have led to more unintended pregnancies.
Alexa, stop. Wow. You know, that's probably why they're going after the mail-in stuff, because they're okay. You guys have found another way to do it. And by the way, there's this on social media. There's this post going all around. Apparently, the governor of Massachusetts, either today or very recently, has just signed in a law allowing abortions to be performed right up to pregnancy. That's what is being said online. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I saw it all over right-wing media. The Massachusetts governor just signed in the law allowing pregnancy terminations right up to birth. Go figure. That's very pro-life of you, sis. What are you talking about? Should we say conservatives are killing more kids? Well, they're trying to go around the loopholes, though, Dencal. They're trying to get rid of that mail-in shit. Let me go back to the box. I had my guest up. I'll drop this guest. Bloomberg, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Now I got to post up, he said what? I want to ask you, I'll play this. We haven't talked about it much since I started the live, but As everybody knows, Joe Biden is essentially dying. I mean, you know, he has prostate cancer stage 4. It spread to his bones, and Hunter Biden the other day just said that is now spread to his organs. It's metastasized all over his body. Pain, debilitating. It sounds like the man is dying. President Trump, this came out. I don't know when this came out, but it's now been all over social media. This is President Trump upon finding out Biden has cancer.
He's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him. He's been a sort of a moderate person.
What do you think about something like that? Do you think he has a reason to have that cold heart?
I think it's given permission for grave dancing,
Ooh.
which is grave.
Ooh.
And I save my grave dancing for when it really matters, right? But when the president of the United States, the man behind the bully pulpit, speaks that way, it opens a door, and it's a dark thing that comes out of it.
Wow.
You know what I want to talk about, though?
Sure.
I want to talk about the Overton window and how Republicans are aggressives. The Democrats are now the conservatives.
Why do you? Let's start. Yeah, okay, I saw you. Tell me right off the bat, what makes you say Democrats are conservative? Conservative in what way?
Because they're fighting the progressives. And also, they have not held the regressive GOP to account. They have not risen.
They're not empowered to do it.
They have no. They're feckless.
Well, wait,
feckless
hold on. I disagree with you on 2 counts. First of all, when you say they haven't held the GOP to account, they voted against everything Trump has tried to do. So they are holding them to account. I mean, look, if you're a tiny woman fighting a guy my size, okay, maybe the punches aren't doing anything to me, but you are fighting back. So the Democrats have won against. Listen to MAGA. They say all the time the Democrats have prevented us from doing everything we wanted to do. So the Democrats are fighting back. Now you also say that the
Wait. Can I respond to that first?
Sure.
They have written some really, really strongly written letters. They've made some statements.
They voted in Congress against everything Trump has done. They've done everything they could legally do. They've taken Trump to court numerous times. What more do you want them to do?
Not in unison, though. Not even in unison. They're not as lockstep as the GOP, and you know
Wait. When it comes to President Trump, most of his legislation that he's tried to pass, you've gotten resounding, okay, maybe not Fetterman, but for the most part, the Democrats are in line.
Hold on. My conversation, I think we keep 47's dirty little name out of our mouths because you know what? It just gives him more power. You have to hold the foundation. It's all.
What more do you want the Democrats to do?
This to happen because they could curb it at any time.
What more do you want the Democrats to do? They don't have the majority in any house. They don't have power in the Supreme Court.
And they're, you know what? They're selling it so well as why they should. Like, look, the Democrats have had a great chance. And here's the thing. I think you'll appreciate this most of all, liberal, handsome liberal. Good looking dude.
I don't get that often, so thank you, but go ahead.
They talked about fascism, right? They had 4 years in Biden to do something.
Like what?
Like hold him to account because he tried to overthrow
They impeached him. What do you they impeached him? Mitch McConnell was in control of the Senate. I don't get what you're saying. They did try to do something.
No, they you know what? They completely failed. The Biden DOJ completely failed.
Okay.
Because they didn't do enough.
I'll agree with that. Merrick Garland, yeah, I'll agree with that. But Merrick Garland, I think the problem is they had a DOJ that was not, that he wasn't a loyalist or even far to the left like what Trump has.
Look, you can't call it fascism and then not stand up to fascism in the correct fashion. That was kind of cool, right? That was almost like poetry.
Yeah, and I don't totally disagree with that. I do believe that the Democrats treated Trump with respect like you would normally treat a president, and they were not.
When that president deserved no respect for what he said and what he's done.
Well, but they didn't. I don't think they were. I think Trump kept going darker and darker, but they originally treated him with respect. Expecting the likes of a Richard Nixon or somebody. Trump has shown, I will break laws, I will ignore judges. They were not expecting him to go that far.
I want to keep this relevant and to the point now, but Obama made the same mistake in his first term in reaching across the aisle and trying to work with people that really had no intention of working with them. So when I say the Republicans are regressive, I don't mean that in just as a dirty word. I mean that it's in every aspect of their social policies, their economic policies. If you understand what it means to regress, it's in the slogan, "Make America Great Again." It all wants to bring things back. And the Democrats, bless their little hearts, are just trying to keep things the way they are, even though the carpet keeps sliding further and further and further to the right. And even when you have some progressives within your party, whether that's Bernie Sanders or AOC, anybody that wants to be a little bit more forward thinking, the Democrats.
I started out disagreeing with you a lot more than I actually do now that you kind of orated your point. I still don't agree that the Democrats are conservative, but you are right. The country is moving further to the right, and they're kind of dragging the Democrats along with it. I kind of do agree with that part.
That's what I mean by the Overton window. If you understand what that means, it's basically what's acceptable. So, we have two parties, but really you have to think of it as three ways: regressive, conservative, and progressive, right? Those are the three meters.
And there's no Democrat in the middle anywhere. It goes from conservative all the way to progressive.
Hey, wait,
you said regressive.
You are old enough to remember when there were progressive Republicans and conservative Democrats.
I ain't that fucking old. What is a
70s? Come on.
Reagan with the amnesty, I guess you could say that's progressive Republican. I mean,
that's even how they were. That's even how they used to be titled. This is back in the 60s and 70s.
I'm not that fucking old. I wasn't born in the 60s. I'm not that old. How old do you think I am?
You know enough history, though, right?
Okay, that's different. That's different. I know history, yes.
The parties were not as far apart as they are now.
True.
They used to work together for what was best for
people. But think about the reason why. If you go back to the 60s, as you say, when the parties were not that far apart, because it's all white men governing the parties. Nobody else had a seat at the table. There's a lot more people. You got Muslims and women and black people and Hispanics and shit. You're not going to get them as close together.
Hallelujah.
Well, yes, I agree with that, but that's going to create a bigger divide. When you only had one.
No, that's going to bring us all together.
No.
It's these progressive that want it, if you understand what the far right is, it is about fascism. That's where that is.
Yeah.
The progressive side is communism. We can talk about that. There isn't a communist party in this country. And that's why, you liberals sitting there letting the GOP call your party communist, doesn't that get your hackles up a little bit?
Yeah, I've made it clear that President Trump, and I think many folks on the right do not even know what a communist is, because I'll give you an example of what I mean before we continue. It's this clip that I often play of President Trump. And to me, this says,
look, we can disagree with one another. We can debate one another. another, but we cannot tell the American people that one candidate is a fascist, and if he's elected, it is going to be the end of American democracy.
But for that to happen, we must defeat Comrade Kamala Harris. I use that term because you know what that term means, right? Communist. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. Somebody's got to...
So obviously he don't know what that's term. Nobody can be a Marxist, communist, fascist, and socialist in one. So obviously a lot of people don't know what those terms mean.
That's my whole point. That's why I'm here to talk about it, because most Americans don't understand what fascism. You couldn't explain it in a couple of sentences, let alone communist, socialist, and everything in between, right?
Yeah.
So, but I want to make it simple. There's progressive, there's conservative, and there's regressive. And we, as a country, have moved so far right.
What is a traditional Democrat?
Progressives are conservatives.
What is a traditional Democrat? A conservative to you?
I mean, there's a whole party switch. That's why I don't like to use the party names. Right?
Okay, so a tradition. Okay, I get that. Hold on, hang on. I get that. When the during the era of slavery, when the Republicans were abolishing slavery, they were progressives. The Democrats were fighting to keep slavery. They were the Confederate South. They were the conservatives back then. The Democrats of today, do you believe they are the conservatives of now?
Yes, I think they're trying to hold on to what is now. And I don't think, like, look, we can talk about it in 5 years. Hopefully we're both through here, right? But we can talk about it in 5 years and see what they actually took back. Did they do anything? Are they even talking about that now?
Here's why I disagree with you. When I look at the likes of our last few Democrat presidents, that being Obama, Biden, and Bill Clinton, I don't see them as conservatives. I see them as progressive, just not as progressive as AOC or Bernie Sanders. I do see them as progressive.
You know why the Democrats lose? Because they keep putting centrist, candidates forward. Hillary was a centrist. Obama was a progressive, and then he lost so much favor because in the end, he did things that were not progressive. He didn't follow through.
Yeah. I disagree with you on Hillary.
He spent a lot of time reaching across the aisle and trying to find common ground. Like, hey, look, there's no common ground with fascists.
Yeah. Well, they claim to be just folks who love America.
If you love America, you love immigrants.
Ooh.
The most valuable import every year of this country has been immigration. The most valuable export has been innovation from those immigrants. Human capital is a real thing, y'all. And this is a melting pot. It is a country of immigrants. So you want to make America great again? Immigrate. Don't fear the other. Xenophobia is a thing that has come by kind of naturally in that in the human species, we were evolved to fear other people. If we want to be a progressive nation, we have to move past that.
I got to give you what MAGA often says. In my comments on YouTube, Scott wants to know, are you talking legal or illegal immigrants?
All immigrants.
Yeah. Well, you want folks to, do you want our borders to have no wall? Do you want people to just be able to come and go as they please?
You know what? I think borders are fake, but you know what? I will concede that, like, hey, if you want to run a country, you have to have lines in the sand. I guess that's the way the world works. I don't think that's utopia, and I hope we get there someday. But until then, what I say is human capital is value. And what you call Latinos are indigenous Americans. El Norte, Viva El Norte. They were here first. The border moved on them, not the other way around. And they bring more good, more love, more Americana to this country than the Europeans.
Wow. Then the Europeans, huh? What makes you say that?
Because they were here first, right? Don't they love that blood in the soil? Hear me, MAGA. Don't hate your neighbor. And by the way, they're 90% Christian. The people that are brave enough to try to come here and want to become Americans, 90% of them are Christians,
That is true.
and y'all are putting them in concentration camps and calling yourself Christians.
Why do you think MAGA favors that type of stuff? That when they see the alligator Alcatraz,
Bigotry.
they go,
It's
"That's what we
bigotry.
voted for."
It's
They
hate.
like that stuff.
That's all it is. It's the fear of the other. And like I said, if you understand xenophobia, like that goes back thousands of years.
Wow.
And it's something we have to unplug. You know, you can only really memorize about a couple hundred faces and names and know them. And once you get outside of that, it's not within what you can remember, and so it's a little bit scary.
Fair enough.
That's just it's genetics.
I got to move it on, but you may have sold me on a lot of that. I was disagreeing with you a lot more than I do now after hearing you orated. I mean, I can only say good job, man. I appreciate. Is this our first time talking?
No, we've talked once before. I used to go by a different name, the Paradox of Tolerance, which just let me in on Paradox of Tolerance, because, like, look, this is a country where we want to welcome everybody. Diversity is a strength. Like, if your neighbors have multiple cultures floating around, everybody sharing, then you are blessed. If it's all one culture, it's boring. But the paradox of tolerance is this: we want to tolerate everybody except for those that are intolerant of others. It's the bigotry. If you're afraid of immigrants, if you're afraid of trans people, if you're afraid of gay people, if you're afraid of, it's not that people think different than you, y'all.
Well, they do think differently. I mean, they believe it's only two genders. They don't want to. I mean, the progressive left does think differently than them. I mean,
it's a lack of travel. I think most of all travel. Get around, get outside of your neighborhood, learn and love other people, and also education. There's a guy in here called Oscar Quinton. Oscar Quinton for the win. He is working on teaching, especially like young MAGA kids, young MAGA men, to unlearn the thing. Because the thing is, we don't get to choose what environment we are raised in. We don't get to choose what information we receive in those young critical years.
Well, they're trying to change it, but I do got to go. I can talk to you on a lot of this, but for time purposes, I got to move it on. But certainly, come on back.
Thanks for having me up.
Good talk. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, and love your neighbors. I like that. Bloom Burger. I mean, good call. He kind of enlightened me on some shit. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 40,000. I like that last call. I don't agree with everything, but something about that I like. There is three genders. There is male, there is female, and then there is hermaphrodite. What's making that come up? Problem is there's bad apples coming in. And I don't know. He's saying there was bad apples coming in the country. And I don't disagree with you. When it comes to immigrants, there are some quote unquote bad apples coming in the country. But here's the issue I have with that. And before I go into it, help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. We're at 0. Show your boy some love. Wow. Show your boy some love on the program. Help your boy with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. In regards to bad apples are coming in the country, I think the problem on the MAGA side of the aisle is you focus too much on the negative. You're using negativity to not help people out. I don't care if there's 1,000 good people and one bad person among them. You use the one bad person to not help out the 1,001 as a whole. You guys are doing this on everything when it comes to the claims of election fraud. The numbers make it clear that overwhelmingly the elections are free and fair, but you pick a few people. It's the same thing with immigrants. You guys making it sound like all these folks are coming from prisons, they're raping and murdering. That is the extreme minority, which is why you hear MAGA often saying, well, one is too many, because that's usually somewhere around the number of people that's actually doing that shit. Same thing with men and women's sports. Once again, I don't know what number of trans we have in this country, but I guarantee the amount of them that are trying to play against girls in sports is less than 1% of them. You guys are taking the minority of these different groups and issues and using that as a reason to demonize the whole group of people. And that's where the disagreement is you guys are doing that. Now, if it was really a major issue and there was a rash of people doing this stuff, then yeah. And here's the crazy thing. You don't mind taking only a few people of any group you dislike to demonize the whole group, but we can show you video after video after video of the cops mistreating people, and suddenly it's 99% of them are good. Suddenly when it comes to police, now you want to say, well, 99% of them are good. But on all the other groups, whereas genuinely 99% of them are good, you don't want to fuck with it like that. And by the way, 99% of cops are not good. Tap the screen, help you boy with the hat mustache, TikTok cap goals, if you will. Look at Brittany Griner and Michelle Obama. Dudes, says Kevin. Look at your evidence. Non-existent. So we can go with that. We conservatives, Republicans do not support MAGA ideology. We will take our party back. It's going to take some time for that to happen. It's going to take some time for that to happen. I think because Trump is taking your party so far to the right, you're going to lose a few elections until people feel confident that's the goal. Certainly when it comes, I would say probably out of all of the communities, the Hispanic community, you've lost some of them for the rest of their lives. Some of them folks in the Hispanic community, they're probably never going to vote conservative for the rest of their life. And understand when new immigrants come over here, let's say you get a Democrat in office or, you know, a Democrat socialist or some of these other folks, they end up leading the country. And they become friendly to immigrants again. It's going to be a long time before immigrants do not stop automatically voting left. Just like the African-American community after the Martin Luther King era. For the most part in the African-American community, they just automatically vote left because the Republican Party treated them so bad during that time. It's just almost guaranteed that any Democrat candidate in an area that has a majority black is going to win that position because the African-American community automatically votes left. That's what you've probably done to the Hispanic community as well now. That's a bigger, larger community than the black community. So you don't want to lose that. White people believe they'll never be persecuted, says the Nardy Boy. Well, the country is predominantly ran by white people. So we'll leave it like that. And purposely misinterpreted. I don't know what you mean by that among llamas. Yes, they will. The U.S. did this to Mexicans in 1954. Well, I said a few generations. They could come back. If the Democrats start fucking up, there are principles the Hispanic community stands on. If the Democrats go too far to the left, like my last caller suggested that the Hispanic community is 90% Christian. So the pro-choice stuff, that goes against a lot of folks, how they feel about Christianity. I don't know if the Hispanic community is really hardcore pro-LGBTQ. So all of this men and women's sports, that stuff could hurt. Rather, it could hurt the Democrat Party or the left side of the aisle with the Hispanic community. But right now, because of how horrible the Trump administration is treating Hispanics, that stuff, it's going to take a while before that stuff is bad enough for them to go back to the right. Yeah, maybe they don't like, abortion rights being granted to women all the way up to, to birth. Maybe they don't like transgender to some degree, or they don't like the way the Democrats are with Muslim candidates with them being Christian. But what Trump is doing is a significantly greater threat to them right now. That threat coming from the right has to be reduced significantly before the issues of the left start making them, deviate from the left back right. Trump is a significantly greater threat with what he's doing to Hispanics than being worried about transgender or, pro-choice, pro-life rights. So it's going to take a while. I think at least a generation or two The Republicans have probably lost the Hispanic vote because of what Trump is doing. Anyway, looking in the comments, I believe Donald Trump will attempt to prevent the House from taking office in January. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. So you're certainly not the only one in regards to that. I'm just ready for this to be over. I have a plan for life after Trump. Do his supporters? Well, his supporters, they absolutely have a life for, they absolutely do have a plan for life after Trump. J.D. Vance, perhaps Marco Rubio, Don Jr., Ivanka, they do have a plan for life after Trump. It's more MAGA candidates. That's their plan. So that's what they plan on having after that. Looking in the comments here, real quick. Yes, Scott, we need to stop the rich.
Someone is at the front door.
Okay, we need to stop the rich from leeching off the poor and middle class. Yeah, and you're probably not going to get that from the left or the right, which is why some folks are saying these socialist candidates are more desirable. If you're watching this on YouTube, I need you guys to smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You can be critical of anybody, including the host. Again, that's my opinion only. I hope I'm wrong. Fair enough. Epstein, no accountability. COVID, no accountability. Complaining about anything else is retarded, says Scott. Well, they're blaming COVID on the left. They're blaming COVID on the left. They're saying Dr. Fauci is some card-carrying Democrat, and they're blaming the mishandling of COVID on Fauci and the left. They're kind of ignoring the fact that President Trump was the commander-in-chief during some of the roughest times of COVID. They're just going at the Fauci and the Democrats. So go figure. And yes, among Yama says, didn't Trump give an award to Dr. Fauci? Yeah, but they have a way of excusing Trump. So it is what it is. And I absolutely agree. There's no accountability for Epstein. And I don't think it matters at this point in the eyes of MAGA. Looking in the comments, well, it's the same as steroids in sports. They kick people off. Teams for taking steroids or playing in girls' sports is the same thing. There's a lot of people that take steroids in sports. There's not going to be a lot of men playing against biological women. That's never going to happen. As I keep stating, it's too fucking dangerous. It would be too dangerous for a biological male to go out there. Can you imagine? I use basketball because folks are, they're making these statements that you may get a biological male playing in the WNBA. You go out there, let's say, for instance, you give a hard foul to Caitlin Clark, as everybody's focusing on. A biological male does that to her, thousands of death threats. Walking back to the locker room, people are throwing shit at the person. It wouldn't be safe to do that. And not to mention, nobody's going to honor your accomplishments in a league full of women. Yeah, you got the highest scoring total. Nobody's going to honor that. I mean, it would not be a desirable place for anybody to be like that. I don't even think most teams would bring you on. You would be more baggage than Colin Kaepernick. They're not going to bring you on. I just can't see it happening. I don't see it. I think it's dangerous. I think it's bad for the team. I don't see anybody doing that. So but it does make for good fear mongering from the right. It does make that. Help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goals. In the comments, if there was no dirt on Trump in the Epstein files, why won't he release them? Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene says that he is protecting. Thank you, Bryce. Somebody showing some love. Thank you, Bryce Ferg. Appreciate it. Marjorie Taylor Greene made it clear that Trump is saying some of his friends will get hurt. So what he is doing, now a lot of folks believe Trump himself took the innocence of a child. But even if he didn't, at the very least, he's protecting some pedophiles. That's why he won't open up the Epstein files, is that there are people that he care about that may get hurt, as he says. And I see in the comments, Arnita says he is the friend. All right, fair enough. You think Trump abused the kid? Is that what you're telling me? Or Kamala had a funny laugh. They ain't got nothing. Yeah, the Kamala Harris thing is ridiculous. They said the same thing about Hillary Clinton too. I remember them imitating her laugh on Saturday Night Live at the time. I don't think people understand that Republicans see Democrats as mortal enemies, while Democrats see Republicans as wayward brothers and sisters on the other side of the aisle. True, but they don't see that in MAGA. I think the Democrats have come to terms that MAGA are mortal enemies. But you're right. I think the Democrats, being a big tent party, would be more friendly to Republicans than Republicans would be to them, which is what my other guest was saying, that Barack Obama made a mistake by constantly trying to reach across the aisle to people who didn't want to be his friends. So you're kind of saying the same thing, and I don't totally disagree with that. Bill Clinton admitted that Trump had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. MSNBC did a live interview and with Epstein victims. They all admitted live on air that Trump didn't do anything wrong. Not releasing the files is doing something wrong. That's enough. Not releasing the files and doing things that are under the Trump administration. No one has been held accountable. No names have been released except for the victims. He actually, under his administration, the victims' names got released. That alone is wrong. We don't need to know if he did anything. Defending him ain't saying shit. He's defending the pedophiles. We still don't know why Ghislaine Maxwell is in minimum security. How the fuck did that happen? That alone, if Biden just had simply took Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted of basically serial pedophilia, and took her out of maximum security and put her in a camp, you guys would have went ape shit. You'd have been saying Democrats are soft on crime. Why the hell is she in a fucking camp? Why is she there? That alone is bad. In the comments, good afternoon, boys and girls. Great humans of all ages. Stand up, captain on deck, star leader Tim. This man is lovable. This man is great. Pay attention. It's showtime at the Apollo. Great series. Rest in peace to Kiki Shepard, who passed away not long ago. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll make it happen. I forgot I was communicating with MAGA Reacts. MAGA, now you had a call come in last time.
No, just my Bluetooth connected to a headset or some shit. By the time I turned it off, you disconnected me.
Oh.
How do I sound right now?
I can hear you loud and clear. So, what? You got another call coming in?
I hear you. That's my other phone. I gotta turn it off. Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
Now, where were we at? What were we discussing when you had the call come in?
I don't know. The fact that you guys are still doing all the dumb shit that cost you the last election. You're still talking about, trans and sports. You're still talking about,
we're the ones talking about trans
and have an open border.
We're the ones that are talking about.
Yeah, we're replying to you.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, even if we're talking about it, it helped us win that election.
Yeah.
It caused you to lose. It helped us win. So us repeating something that helped us win isn't the same as you repeating shit that cost you the election and pretending it didn't.
Yeah, and I disagree with you.
Most of you guys pretend Harris is a great fucking candidate and nothing was wrong with Biden.
Bro, the crazy thing is you guys believe that Trump is doing a great fucking job.
Listen, every time I've come up here, I've given Trump a fucking C. But guess what? I give Democrats an F.
You have given Trump a C.
But I still give the Democrats an F. Where is this A+ Democrat that I could pick instead of Trump? Name one A+ Democrat that I could pick instead of Trump.
Well,
give me one. Anyone, please. I don't want to deal with Trump's bullshit. I don't want to hear you bringing up Trump.
Well, if I give you an A+, if I give you right now, there's no. Hold on, hang on a second. I think Senator the guy in Arizona, Senator Kelly, I think that guy is a B or an A. I like that guy a lot. Westmore would probably be a B or an A. I like that guy a lot.
Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe Westmore.
What changed?
He's nowhere near the head of the party.
I think he'd be higher ranked than Trump.
The thing is, Westmore is higher ranked just because he's quiet. Like, once you get to know him, he'll probably end up being a fucking
I don't
maybe
think-
a B minus. If you're
I
lucky.
think once you get to know Westmore, he won't be any more flamboyant than, let's say, Obama. I don't think anybody on the left, maybe Bernie Sanders or some of these folks like Mondani, are going to be as flamboyant as Trump. That's what my last guest was talking about, how the Democrats, he view them as conservatives. Most Democrats are not talking about this far out shit like Trump or some of these socialists are talking about. Gavin Newsom ain't talking about going
Trump
way to
talking
the
about
left.
That's far out. Like, I know Trump says stupid shit, but where is he at? Where like, oh, he's gonna do this? It's gonna be far out.
His
And
immigration.
I'm talking about legit do this, not like bullshit from Project 25.
Well, first of all, Project 2025, I disagree with you totally that that's bullshit. Also, I would tell you that his
But you see
immigration.
how we always fucking deny it? You guys don't deny the trans stuff.
Yeah, and you got
borders.
fucking.
You don't deny socialism.
Just
You're
because
trying to make socialism happen.
The only difference between the Democrats and the right on this stuff is the Democrats tell you this wild shit they're planning and they're honest. Your side lies about it. Everybody on your side denies that racism exists on your side. It's clear as fucking day. We can see it. The Democrats just come out and say, yes, we are socialists. Your side says, no, we ain't got nothing to do with Project 2025. The shit is clear as day. You're just lying about it.
That's bullshit. It's really bullshit. You guys make these parallels, like, make it sound like it's fucking we're racist, but it's not real racism.
Right.
We're not actually hanging anybody from trees.
It's not real.
Last time Michael got out here and was talking about some guy getting burned and hung under a bridge. It turned out to be a white guy.
It's not real.
What else?
He said it's not real racism.
It was a white guy. The guy from Houston was a white guy.
Pull it up. But pull it up. Why
I
you
did
do
pull it
that?
up. I came here and talked to Tim about it the next day. You weren't there.
Who is Royce White?
The homeless man?
Who is
What's
Royce White? Who is Royce White?
I don't know who Royce White is. Tell me.
So if you don't, what about Enos Cantor? Who are they? Who is he?
I don't know every single person.
But here's the funny part. But you come up here and say that the left is pushing this transgender ideology. They're not pushing anything. They're defending people's rights to decide to be who they are. But you should know who those are, because those are two NBA players that have decided to declare themselves for the WNBA league. Now, if you didn't know
there's a man that's also doing it. We'll see if he gets in.
I just named those were the two men.
Evil, I see you, Evil.
Okay, like I'm not an actual man, not trans or anything.
Again,
just applying as a man. Is that
Who
what
is
you're
he?
talking about?
Now you're speaking on it.
I just fuck it. This doesn't matter to me. You guys pretend like it matters to me. It doesn't. That's why I don't know their names.
Wait a minute. You brought it up.
Right.
Bring it up.
Right.
You brought it up.
Tim was been talking about it the whole time. What do you mean I brought it up? Tim
when
just
you
talked about it right before I got
Maga
on.
Reacts. When you came up here, you said the left keeps this stuff going. The left, he's only talking about it because the right keeps trying to make this a thing that's not a thing.
No, we only talk about it because you keep talking
That
about
ain't
it.
true.
Again, so it's not.
That's
So
100% true.
Hold on,
Okay,
let me interject. Let me interject. You can't find me anybody on the left that refuses to say what a woman is for at least the last year or two. And you guys are still going all over the place saying the left don't know what a woman. That ain't the Democrats ain't making you say that.
I can say that shit.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your. I'm talking about your. You said. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're saying that your party is the only reason we keep talking about this. We're not talking about not knowing what a woman is.
Your party, your side.
My side is not talking about they don't know what a woman is. That's some shit from a couple years ago that your side keeps bringing up. It ain't because the Democrats are doing it. You're doing it on your own.
No, we're just replying to you, buddy.
You're not replying to shit.
Saying,
You're not replying to shit.
Trans people
Show me somebody that has said that. Show me somebody that has said that recently that you're replying to. Then I haven't heard anybody not answer
Every time you
that.
bring up the stupid subject of letting men play in women's sports, you can play in men's sports. You can use a men's bathroom. No one cares about that.
Well, so women can play in men's sports?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's America and you're free to do that.
Did you hear what he
If you decide
said?
to take the risk, you can play in the men's sport.
So
but we're trying to protect women from men. Because it's your choice.
Wait a minute.
It's your choice. So they didn't make you fucking join the men's sport.
MAGA, instead of
I just want to be
overtalking-
clear so you don't misinterpret me.
I don't need to, because can you ever have it? Listen, if you're trying to protect women, then why would you let a woman
this is your logic, play in a sport with all men if you're trying to protect her? Because based on your argument,
it's her choice.
It's her choice to play against
I
men.
thought you did. Fuck, you paused.
The same things you're trying to protect them from, the strength side, the speed side, all the shit you bring up. If it's one woman playing in an all men sports, isn't she more likely to be injured based on what y'all saying than the transgender playing with women?
Well, first of all, it's her choice.
Can you just answer that question, bro?
You're forcing these women to play with these men.
No,
she chooses to play in the men's sport. I am answering it.
You're
not. What am I not answering? It's her choice to do it. With a lot of these women, it's not their choices. You're trying to force these men into their sports and into their bathrooms.
First of all, nobody's trying to force anything, but I'm using your logic. If a woman can play in a man's sport, isn't it more likely that she would be injured being the only woman playing against all men?
Yeah, but she gets to choose to play in the men's sports.
Can you ever answer a fucking
these
question?
Women, I am answering it. What the fuck? You just don't like my answer.
He's actually asking
answer the dumb way you want.
He's asking you a yes or no question, and you're giving him a paragraph. Is what he's saying.
Okay, it's her choice. She could get hurt, but it's her choice. These women, a lot of them don't have a choice because you're forcing men into their fucking sport.
Well, nobody's forcing anything. Either they're allowed to do it or they're not. It's simple.
What do you mean? You are forcing them. If they're in a soccer team and you put a man on the other side,
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Yes, she does. First of all, name me
she has a choice to quit. That's the only choice she's got.
Name me a sport that is forcing men or forcing men to play with women.
What do you mean? We just talked about basketball. We talked about fucking boxing.
Have you read the guidelines for
weightlifting?
basketball? None of those happen. Show me. Show me where a man boxes against a
Yeah,
woman.
the guideline, and what he's talking about, MAGA, the guidelines for basketball clearly state if you went through male puberty, you can't play on women's teams. It can't happen. You guys are just running away with some false narrative that is never going to happen.
Then, again, I don't care. You guys bring it up, and I'm just
We're not bringing it up.
The logic of it doesn't fucking make sense because these women do not choose for these men to be in their fucking league.
It's a
and
narrative.
If we let you fucking run with it, it's
a
gonna be a
narrative.
fucking normal thing.
Here's the thing, MAGA. You sound like
it's not a narrative. We've seen them in swimming. We've seen them in so many different things.
Here's the thing. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, MAGA. And I hope that this resonates with you. And if you could do it without interrupting, that would be great. You are allowing this administration to push this narrative because they're afraid of the midterm. That's the only reason we're talking about it right now, MAGA Reacts. Matter of fact, they took it a step further. That guy, Royce White, that I brought you, that played in the NBA, is talking about now he wants to go play in the WNBA. The WNBA guidelines won't let any of these men play by their own rules, but they don't expect you guys to read. This man was running for Senate in Minnesota as a Republican. Did you know that?
No, I don't care about this.
But
I'm just replying.
Listen,
if I cared, I would, but I don't care.
Listen,
and you guys swear you care.
MAGA, listen to me. Your narrative, just listen for a second. The reason why he's doing it, can you ever, that's why you single. Can you ever listen for a second, bro?
I'm not single, buddy.
Well, you will be. And if you're married, you won't be long if you never fucking listen. I'm trying to tell you, what's happening right now, you are so blind. They're doing this to cause people to go, their backs to the women and people in men's bathrooms. But let me ask you this, since y'all never know it, how many times in the last 90 days can you look and find a clip of a heterosexual man being escorted out of a woman's bathroom?
I don't know. I don't fucking look for these things. Do you look? Is that what you do on your time off?
It's perfect. I'm glad you said that. So if you don't look for them, why do you care so much?
I am replying to things that Tim brought up on his live. It's Tim's show.
Actually, hold on. MAGA,
I would have never brought it up.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is because President Trump, like the whole purpose of this live where you see he said what, is President Trump said a bunch of horrible shit about Biden after finding out he had cancer. And while he was explaining all of that stuff, he brought up how horrible the Democrats were, and he talked about men and women's sports. He wasn't responding to nobody. He's talking about Biden with cancer in some kind of way. The transgender stuff made its way into his conversation. I just played it. So he's not responding to stuff the liberals are saying. He is
basically stuff liberals are saying. He's just fucking summarizing
do
their
me a favor.
position right now.
If that's the case, MAGA reacts. Do me a favor.
He
Show me
can't.
one clip
He
of somebody
can't.
on the left.
He can't.
I know he can't. Tim.
This live, Tim was doing it just this
So,
live.
so Trump is responding to people like me.
No, you're bringing it up, and yes, he's listening to what everybody's saying, and that's one of my
Right.
one of your
Everybody
main
said he's a
fucking points,
everybody
even though
said
he
he's
just
everybody
lost
said he's a
less
fucking
and less
racist. He ain't saying nothing about the race. Everybody's calling him a racist too. He ain't saying nothing about that.
because it's hard to prove a fucking negative. But what do you want? It does fucking cover that when he can.
This
I
guy
don't know what you expect from him.
hard. You said it's hard to prove a negative. Since when has proof got in the way of what Trump says? Since when is he required
Your
to
side
prove?
too, buddy.
Can I ask you a question, Megan? This is a sincere question. Is this an act or are you actually serious?
I mean, I'm kind of distracted because I'm driving, but other than
I'm not
that,
talking about today. I'm not talking about today. I'm just talking about all of this shit. And the reason I'm asking,
Okay, Megan, this is why I'm asking. Because there's things that you say that I know, Tim knows. There's 204 people in here. Even Trump supporters in the comments right now know that there's a lot of things you say that you can't prove and or support. But when we bring it up, you make it seem like it's the left. This whole transgender, woke, DEI, all of that shit was birthed by the right. It was there. It was, and they
DEI was birthed by the right. Kiss my ass.
3 minutes.
I know. Again, and with the part that you're not getting is the demonization of it. Everything negative about every other culture is what the right lives by. Everything. They demonize everything. And what you do, because I try to think that people are smarter, but I'm being proven wrong. Instead of using the little common sense to go, how much sense does that make? How much sense does it really make? How much sense does it really make to demonize an entire community because you don't understand? Why are you so much okay with that?
We're not trying to demonize an entire community. We're trying to demonize stupid things like DEI. You're making it about the fucking community.
No.
We say DEI is dumb because it's fucking racist. DEI is super racist.
It's not.
Just because it's racist to white people, it does. I don't care that it's racist to white people. I just care that it's racist. And you're like, oh, you're demonizing fucking black people and black pilots because you're anti-DEI.
Okay, cool.
DEI, like socialism, is a stupid idea. I don't care that you guys support it. Doesn't make it. I'm not demonizing you because you support it.
Can you just stop just galloping till the clock runs out? If you're right, then explain to me.
What clock? We got all the time in the
You
world.
got 2 minutes.
Yeah, he knows what's going on. Explain to me why Doge went specifically after those groups that were determined to be DEI. Those aren't my words. Those are the young men that were hired and deposed on what they were instructed to do. They specifically said
because DEI is racist. It's prejudice.
Can I finish? Then why did they just fire black people?
I don't know why it ended up all being black people. I just know that DEI is a racist concept. And we got rid of it because it was racist.
It's never been new.
If you could go down the list and tell me what the jobs were, and tell me how those jobs were necessary.
The last time we went down the list, you were still wrong. So we're not going to do that today.
What list did we go down to?
I'm simply telling you, MAGA Reacts, if you want to continue to be a buffoon for this administration.
You keep telling me they're black jobs, but what were the jobs? What were they doing that they got fired?
I didn't say they were black jobs. I didn't say they were black jobs. I said
you said there was a lot of black people that got fired without telling me what the jobs are.
I said black people were fired. They were targeted specifically from their jobs. That's what I said.
Really? So what if the jobs were targeted and it just ended up being a lot of black people being in them because black people love picking up government jobs?
I got to move it on for time. Go ahead, Mike. Finish it up. I do got to move it on.
Yeah, and you owe me a galaxy too from the other day. Damn it!
I didn't. All right.
I only owed you $50, and those 5 galaxies were 72.
No, I'm not talking about.
You're talking to me, not you.
All right.
I'm talking to him.
My bad.
You're a non-factor.
Last word, Mike. Last word, Mike.
You wish.
This is what I'm going to tell him, and then I'll go back in the queue. This is what I'm going to tell MAGA, because there was something else I'm going to talk to you about, Jen. If you're going to live your life consistently
fluffing and being ambidextrous with Trump's dick, then you're going to get what you get. You're going to get what you get. Because right now, everything he's doing, because he knows he's losing. He knows he's losing his base. He knows he's losing a lot of his supporters. And the only thing he can give you is fear. He's trying to take you guys back to bathrooms and Haitians and eating the cats and dogs. That shit's coming next.
All right, Mike.
And y'all eat it up every time.
All right, I'll put you back in the queue.
The only cocksuckers here are on
Last
our
word.
side, admittedly.
Say that
I
again.
mean, you guys admit to being cocksuckers, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are fucking sucking cock." I'm like, "What the fuck kind of bullshit logic is that?" I mean, Tim, you know I'm legit because even when I'm talking to you one-on-one, text messaging, I fucking bring up the same points, and I know you're fucking legit because even when no one's watching, you bring up the same points. So that's why you know we're legit. But you know, that being said, you know these things are losers. They cause you to lose 2020. But you guys are making up excuses like, "Oh no, it's not us. It was the right."
I don't know if here's the problem. You can see what the Democrats are. Hold on, you can see what the Democrats. Wait, hold on. You're going on and on. When you're talking like that, nobody's hearing you. But what I'm saying is, when you're saying the Democrats are doing things that's going to cause them to lose elections, you're admitting by your own admission that you're only giving Trump a C-. So you do realize he's causing your side to lose stuff too. So it ain't just that you can't just count on the Republicans to win because the Democrats went too far to the left. Your side Trump is not meeting the overwhelming majority of his campaign promises. He is not delivered, which is why you're only giving him a C- and MAGA is your name. So it is what it is. Last word. I got to move it on.
But he's still working on everything. He works on everything he promised. He never stops, at least minimal, he never stops bringing it up. Okay. So I know it's at least on his mind. I can't say the same thing for Democrats. Whenever you guys get in office, if it's not passing some stupid bill that costs a lot of money, it's not worth your time. I'm not gonna
reward you for work. I'm not gonna vote for you because after 4 years you're working on something. Either you succeed or you don't.
If there's a better Republican, I'll support him. If there's a better Democrat, I'll support them.
All right, we'll get on that.
C- isn't a good grade for me.
All right, I got to move it on. Tap the screen, and he's not the only one that's not going to favor socialism, but. The problem is they're using socialism to brand the entire party. Most Democrat candidates are not socialists. So that's just like with the don't know what a woman is. You Democrats don't know. Most Democrats are not confused with this transgender shit. I'm one in particular. I do not agree with biological males playing in women's sports. Yet the right will tell you he's a Democrat. He don't know what a woman is. So there's a lot of demonization going on. So, and this is why I always say the right don't like you calling them racist or homophobes and all this other shit, but they have no problem doing the same thing. Plenty of Democrats know what a woman is. Plenty of Democrats are anti-socialist. You think Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi favor this socialism move? No, and they're Democrats. So there's some of this stuff is heavy stereotyping that's not true. Handsome conservative. Good evening.
Man, you are having a rough night, aren't you? What the hell? What was that all about?
Well, you know, MAGA Reacts brings out the passion in some of my callers.
Is that what you're calling it? Passion?
Passion. Okay. He brings out the passion. He didn't bring out a single TikTok cab.
I wanted to come up and say you're having a really good show tonight. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it.
I've really been enjoying your guest. I don't know what your topic was supposed to be about, but
well, I want you to hear this. I'll let you hear. This is what one of the things we're talking about is I played the clip, but this is President Trump allegedly upon finding out Biden had cancer. And this is what he actually had to say, which I don't know why this clip is not playing, but he just had choice words.
Just tell me what he said.
Don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him.
He's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. if you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him.
You don't feel sorry for him at all. A president saying that about his predecessor that's probably in the process of dying. How do you view that?
I think it's bullshit. I mean, I like Trump. I'm not going to say I don't, but come on, let's call it what it is. That's bullshit. If I mean, the man's dying. You know, he's got a lot to answer for. You know, Biden does, but dude, speaking ill of the dying or the dead or the soon to be past, I don't agree with that.
I guess what I want to ask you threw in there, you did throw in there you like Trump. I guess I want to ask to some degree, why do folks continue saying they like him with him doing this type of stuff? I mean, because he said the same thing. He criticized John McCain after death. He criticized Robert Mueller after the guy was dead, said, I think his quote is, "I'm glad he's dead." The guy who used to play meathead on Archie Bunker, he said some negative things about him when he heard that guy died. He's literally celebrating the deaths of Americans. Why do you still like him? Is his policies that great?
Well, man, it's different for different people. I can't answer for everybody, but I think for some people it would be a lack of a better option. I think that's why a lot of people still ride with Trump. A lack of another option. I mean, like you said, Kamala wasn't a good option. I haven't seen anybody pop up on the Democratic side yet. I mean, unless you're taking Gavin Newsom seriously, which I would.
I cannot for the life of me look at Gavin Newsom and say that he's worse than Trump. I mean, the guy. What are we giving Trump other than the border? What did Trump really do?
Well, my main thing was the border. So again, I can't answer.
Okay.
I mean, I'm satisfied with what he did on the border. I think he should have been a little more. He should have done a little better job, but compared to what we have,
done a little better job.
I think he's done good.
Okay, so you say your main thing was border. I don't know what part of the country you live in, but I guess the question I would ask is, were immigrants affecting your life, your ability to navigate and work? Were they playing that much of a negative role in your life where your number one issue that you wanted the president to do was, get the immigration under control? I mean, like, are you in an immigrant heavy area, a lot of crime being committed, they're taking all the jobs?
I used to be. I'm not now. Now I live in Michigan. The only immigrants not coming over here are Canadians. I was down south for a while. Upholding the law and standing up and saying, okay, there's a legal way and there's an illegal way. And when Biden was in office, you can't deny that we saw truckloads of people coming through the border, riding on trains to get up here. I mean, I watched the news back then, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It was all over the place. So
listen.
To finally have a president who upheld the law.
I'm not going to argue with the notion that Biden on the border. I agree with that. But in terms of issues that concern me, my progression, my success, my life, healthcare, I'm going to put above border security. I'm going to put gas and grocery prices above border security. I'm going to put my personal safety in the town I live. I would put that above border security. Jobs, I'm going to put that above. Salaries. Like, out of all of the things, you're up in upper Michigan and the border's your number one issue. Life must be really good for you up there.
No. I said I lived down south and they were a number one issue.
Yeah.
I moved up to Michigan and now all we got is Canadians coming over the border. So I mean, you know.
Now, MAGA Reacts only gives Trump a C-. What letter grade do you give him? I know you stated you're unhappy with him on some level.
I give him a B.
So above
I
average.
give him a B.
You're giving him a B, which is above average.
Yes, and I'll tell you why I'm giving him a B. I'm giving him a B because of the border.
That's all
There's
it
a lot
took.
of things that I will say that a Republican won't say.
That's all it
Things I'm
took.
concerned about. I agree with you. I want gas to be lower. I want food, groceries to be lower. I want rent to be lower so we can afford to live and people can afford to get in a one-bedroom apartment instead of renting a room or moving in with their mom and dad. Those are things that are important to me.
I don't get it. He is
because of the border.
I'm baffled. He is failing on probably 90% of his campaign promises. The border alone, he gets a B. That's all it took was just the border to get a B.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you why I'm giving him a B for the border. I'm giving him a B because not just Biden, but the past couple of presidents, 3 or 4 presidents back, we've had this problem for a while. Trump is the first one that has really, gone all out. Whether you like the way he did it or not, he has gone all out to secure the border the best he can.
Yeah, but
it's not completely secure. I don't think it ever will be, but he has done far more.
Are you okay with him also? Now I get the illegal immigration conversation, but you know he is also kicking out people that are here legally and making it harder to come here legally. Are you okay with that as well? You think that's a good idea too?
Well, no. If you're here legally and you're a legal citizen, I'm assuming that's what you mean. If you're a legal citizen, then no, I don't stand for getting you kicked out. If you're here illegally or you've been hiding for 30 or 40 years, that doesn't matter to me. You're still need to come.
I don't know. I think some of his hate conservative. I really think some of this is hate, man. I was told we were going to get rid of rapists and murderers, not grandma or the dude running the hot dog stand that didn't get his paperwork together right. That ain't what we were told. We were told rapists and murderers that came out of jails and insane asylums. That ain't what we're seeing.
See, what I listened to was we're going to get the illegal people out of here. And Grandma knew she was illegal for 30 or 40 years. She's not some innocent person. She's been hiding out illegally the entire time. If she broke the law, she broke the law. I mean, Grandma, Grandpa, great Aunt Betsy, I don't care. If you're here illegally and you're breaking the law, then you got to go.
You're a devout Christian. This sounds Christian-like to you, huh?
It's not about being a devout Christian. It's about upholding the law. The law says there's a legal way and an illegal way to be here. If you're here legally, I got no issue with you. But if you've been hiding out for 30 or 40 years, you're breaking the law.
And
the Bible also says that you, go ahead.
And I see in the comments, Mishi put in there, so Trump has broken laws. Here's what I don't get. Coming in this country and not getting your paperwork straight is a misdemeanor. Under no other circumstance, if you've been abiding by the law, but you got an open misdemeanor from 30 years ago, well, they send out law enforcement to hunt your ass down. You say, well, it's a law to law. We don't do that only when it comes to immigration. Do we treat what they've done, which is a misdemeanor, like it's some grand Class A felony? 30 years ago, this person committed a misdemeanor. They haven't done anything else wrong. And now you're going and looking for them, throwing them in alligator Alcatraz or sending them to CCOT or some shit like that. You don't see nothing wrong with that at all. Huh?
Hold on. I didn't say anything about alligator Alcatraz or CCOT. I disagree with that if that's what you want to ask.
All right.
What I said was that if you're here illegally and you know you're here illegally, you've just been lying for 30 or 40 years. You know, you're not senile. So you know you're breaking the law. That's not an excuse.
No, I don't.
Upholding the law is it's never going to be a great thing for everybody. But I'm glad we have a president that did it.
The president himself, the one with 36 felonies. Here's what I don't understand. Why can't you give them, if they've been here that fucking long and they haven't done anything against the law, why can't you give them a pathway to citizenship? You got folks who have served in the U.S. military, completed an entire tour, discharged honorably, and they're kicking them out. You can't just make a pathway for those folks. They're not rapists and murderers.
If you make a pathway for them and they get here legally, I'm okay with it. I have no problem with creating a pathway to make them legal. But while they are not legal, they need to go back to where they were originally from, whatever country that might be, and they need to do it legally, the right way, the correct way.
Mishi,
they need to obey the law.
I got somebody that wants to speak to you. Mishi?
Hey, for a little context, I'm a 2-time Trump voter, okay? So I'm not a lifelong liberal. Can I ask you a question? So you care about law and order, right? Like you feel like that is like you were digging in your heels to law and order.
If they're here illegally, they're here illegally. Yeah, I
didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I actually asked, are you digging your heels into law and order?
I guess in the sense that I'm talking about, yes.
Only that? So only when it comes to immigration?
If you have a question, ask it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah, I'll just be direct because I don't mess around that way. So if you actually cared about law and order, you would not have put into office a man who is a felon, a man who has been found to sexually abuse women, a man who pardoned people who beat down police officers, a man who has pardoned people who have actually committed crimes against not just veterans, but other Americans. So I find it a little hypocritical that all you care about is misdemeanors, not like actual people who are hurting the American people. Immigrants, by the way, are a net positive, okay? They increase our GDP. They contribute more than they take, especially at the federal level. And so I actually want the migrants that are here to stay because they are people who have created businesses. They are people who have worked and contributed to our society. What I don't want is people who beat down police officers, who sexually abuse women. So how do you respond to that?
Oh, I respond very easily. I agree with everything you said. That's why I didn't vote for him the second or third time. See, everything that you just said happened the second and third time. I only voted for him the first time. So,
but you still support him?
You really don't have a leg to stand on when you're talking to me like that, because I didn't vote for him the second or third time. But I'm glad he's the president, and I'm glad he's upholding the law on the border. Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
Yeah, okay. So what law on the border has changed under Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? I'd like to know the law that has been passed amongst the two different administrations. What law?
Well, I'd imagine you'd have to look that up for yourself.
I don't have to look it up because no law has
He's
been
all
passed.
executive.
No
the point she's making, he's been 100% executive order. There is no laws. That's what she's trying to say.
Oh, is she asking? She's asking? What specifically is she asking?
What law?
I said the law and order on the border. I can't be more clear than that. I don't know what the dodge and move is. What is she trying to do?
John, what law changed from Donald Trump's first administration to Joe Biden, and what changed from Joe Biden to Donald Trump's second administration? What law has changed at the border?
Oh, he's enforcing the border laws. He's securing the border.
Okay, can you please tell me how Joe Biden? Can you please tell me how Joe Biden?
Hold on, he can't hear you talk over.
He sent out ICE to collect the people that are here illegally. He has made it harder for people to come in illegally. but allow people to come in legally. So, I mean, that's where I stand.
So fantastic. So Joe Biden and Barack Obama have actually deported more than Joe Biden. Barack Obama and Joe Biden have deported more than Donald Trump. So they actually are enforcing the border law more than Donald Trump has. And so when you say laws, nothing changed between Trump to Biden and Biden to Trump. And can you please tell me how Joe Biden told our border patrol to ignore policy when he asked 8 times for more border patrol? He asked 8 times for the Republicans to pass more legislation instead of nothing. And they had a bipartisan border bill that they refused to pass. And Joe Biden brought border crossings down by 85%. He got Mexico to spend $1.5 billion on border control. So again, tell me what Donald Trump did other than scare the shit out of migrants.
I think I remember what you're talking about. That border bill that they tried to pass. I do recall that. That was when they were really super desperate because they were losing the election. So they
that was made by a Republican. That was actually it was a Republican.
He put a stop to it because he knew that if he put a stop to it, he would get elected on it, and then he could carry it out himself. He was very smart about that. If your people had done that,
it was a Republican
a
bill.
or 2 before Joe Biden, then that would have probably worked.
So fantastic! It was a Republican bill. It was Langford's bill. Okay, that was signed off by a Democrat. Okay, it was a Republican bill. And don't you think at the border was that horrible that the Republican?
Yes.
Right. So should the Republican Party have done something rather than nothing? If the border was so horrendous and we had all these horrible people coming into our country, why wouldn't the Republicans pass something rather than nothing? Like just pass something for a year.
The Republicans played a long game. The Republicans made sure that they were going to pass it. They were going to do something about the border. They just wanted to wait till they got into power to do it. I got no props for that. That's intelligent as hell.
So great. You guys own all 3 chambers, right? You guys have, right, the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. Can you please tell me what border bill that they have passed? Because they can pass whatever the heck they want right now because they are in complete control. Can you please tell me the bill that they have passed to protect the border?
If they passed a bill, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm started watching the local news, but I can tell you this. With a president as hard on the border as the one we have now, they don't really need to pass.
Actually, let me interrupt.
The job for them.
Let me interrupt this, and I got to get out of here in 4 minutes. But I got 4 minutes. But hold on, hang on a second. Hold on, Mishi. But one of the things when she's asking you about what bills he's passed, the point being made in that is, remember how Trump became president and he just erased all of Biden's and Obama's executive orders by not codifying any bill into law. If a Democrat president comes after Trump, he didn't use Congress to do anything. That's why she keeps asking you, what actual bills did he do? It's just him doing shit with a pen. So all of the stuff you're celebrating could just be wiped out.
If she knows the answer, then she's just playing stupid. If she knows the answer, don't ask the question.
No, she thinks you don't know. No, she thinks you don't know the answer. She thinks you're stupid. That's why she's doing it.
I don't care what she thinks I don't know. I came up here and I just told you that I think he's doing a good job on the border. Your Democrat just jumped up and wanted to do a gotcha moment. I'm not playing that game.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm interested in that. I'm interested. If you got a question you don't know, then actually ask it. If this is just a Democrat swing around, do it with somebody else.
Okay, so don't crash out. Okay, by the way, Joe Biden brought border crossings down 85% before he left office. Joe Biden actually Joe Biden got border crossings down 85% before he left office.
Real quick.
Biden deported more people.
Hold on, Mishi. Hold on. He thought you disrespected him, so he hung up. So he can hear you, but he's not engaged anymore. He dropped. But go ahead, continue.
Well, I know because I actually proved him wrong on every point, and I understand him crashing out. I would too. If you actually don't know the facts, you're wrong. Okay, and we know the facts that Joe Biden and Barack Obama, without unaliving American citizens, were able to deport more people than Donald Trump has. Okay, so if you guys really care about deportations, then you would celebrate Barack Obama and Joe Biden's deportations. You would celebrate the fact that Joe Biden deported a higher percentage of immigrants than Donald Trump did, 48 to 51%. You would celebrate the fact that he got Mexico to spend $1.5 billion on border control. You would celebrate that. Instead, Donald Trump has all three chambers, and he's not passing any laws that actually will be permanent, which is what Tim was reiterating. So why isn't he doing that? Why isn't he doing that? Okay. I'm just saying, like, if the border is so important, like, do it, man, do it. And please stop unaliving U.S. citizens and beating them U.S. citizens, because Barack Obama and Joe Biden have shown us that you can deport a lot of people without harming U.S. citizens.
All right, Misha, certainly a pleasure talking to you. I do got to step out here. I guess business I got to run to real quick. He said I didn't crash out. He said I just don't like being respected by a Democrat. But I agree with that statement that he didn't pass anything with Congress. So you like what's going on with the immigration issues or enforcement of President Trump, but because he didn't go through Congress or pass any bills, it may only be as long-lived as President Trump. The minute he's gone, you don't even need to go to Congress. You can go in there with a pen and just erase everything he did. So that may be something you may come back to bite you folks. Mishi, I hate to cut it short. Always a pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you for coming through.
I'm going to tell you, I want to say one more thing. He didn't like being owned by a woman. And that's really what it came down to. And you know what? Hey, little guy, I'm going to leave you with this. Boop. Bye.
Mishi, it is, folks. Always a pleasure. In the comments real quick, no bills passed. No bills are being passed. He's just actually enforcing existing laws. Biden administration had catch and release. Trump does remain in Mexico. No, he did more than that. Real quick, I will say this. He ended TPS. That ain't enforcing laws. That's him doing some shit that is just anti-immigrant. And by the way, the TPS immigrants were all here legally. TPS being temporary protected status. If you want to sponsor an educated, hardworking immigrant, let's say somebody who has a medical degree or somebody who is a chemist or an engineer or whatever, he raised the cost by $100,000 that employers have to pay to sponsor an immigrant. So if you do want to bring a doctor from India somewhere in the country, you got to pay extra money to do it. That ain't got nothing to do with enforcing laws or going after illegal immigration. He's also banned like all of the third world countries from coming here. He tried to ban Muslims from coming here. He's done a whole lot more than just went after illegal immigrants. I think it's really short-sighted to make it sound like, well, he's just getting the illegals out. He's going after a lot of legal people too. And I've played the clip on the program that I don't have time to play right now of him literally trying to create a team of people to get 100 to 300 revocations of citizenship. He's trying to revoke citizens as well. He's doing a whole lot more than just getting rid of rapists and murderers or even illegal grandmas. He is anti-immigrant. I could have a whole show on it. But unfortunately, right now, I got to tend to some business. I appreciate you folks. I may be back on in about an hour, so I got to step away and take care of this business. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, folks, that follow the show. As always, I love you guys all. You guys take care. Be kind to your immigrants. Go hug a transgender. I got to go. Thank you.